everyone, it's Desiree, and when it comes to die cutting and you have a die set like this, the Garden Flowers, and it's by Scrappy Tales, it's part of a new release, it's like putting a puzzle together. And I think that's what I enjoy about die cutting. So where I wanted to start, I wanted the tops of the flowers, because what she gave you was the base of the flowers and then the top, the flower part, so that you could die cut that separately and have it as a different color. So what I did was I took those dies, put them onto a piece of white cardstock, and just drew around it so I knew the area. And then I chose some Distress inks, and I'm using my blending brushes to get colors down. So for here, I'm using broken china and shaded lilac. And then I'm just going to tape that in place, and then I'll be running those through my die cutting machine. Same thing with the tulips. I am using warm lipstick and Festive berries on this one. I am not looking for a perfect blend. I want it blotchy. I want it, and I didn't want to add any water to it. So I just wanted it very blotchy. Now here I just put the worn lipstick because I'm going to put the Festive berries in once it's all put together. So here are all my pieces. Now I did not, I'm calling these snow something. I don't know. I believe they could also be crocuses, but I'm making mine like the snow. Let me know what the flower is that I'm thinking of, guys, because I just don't have it in front of me. It's snow something. Snowdrop? I don't know. I know it's not snowdrop. So I'm adding just a little bit of mustard seed to the very end where it's going to start bending down. And I cut these out of the ivory cardstock. The English language is tough for me today, so I apologize now. So here's the base. When you die cut this is what it looks like. So it's the greens. So of course I die cut that from green. And then I'm going to adhere those pieces that I cut before on top of this. They are very easy to match. So simple. I immediately thought, oh my God, how am I going to do this? But it was so simple that it's very easy to see what goes where when it comes to the pieces. So I'm just continuing now, if you're looking at these for crocuses, then, have the yellow tip and then the purple coming off of it. For the flowers, the oval flowers, I just wanted to add a little bit of purple to the center. Now, I'm going to be changing those. Wait till you see. And an easy way to do it without messing up your project, because of course I noticed this after it was all together. So I'm just putting a little bit of the I changed over to the Villainous potion because it wasn't dark enough, using the shaded lilac just to the centers, because I really like the mixing of the blue and the purple. So now I'm going to do the same thing. I used a different shade of green for these, just to give, again, some different contrast. And again, I'm just going to put my glue down and then using my gem picker rubber. This is actually a nail gem picker. And just using that to pick up these pieces. Now, there is one that I realized, whoops, I put it in the wrong spot, but it was easy. I was able to pick it up and just real quickly adhere it to the other pieces. There is also one of these that is not in the correct place, but you can't tell. And I'm not telling you which one. So for our last are the tulips. Some of them are together. Some of them, there's threes, there's twos, and then there's individuals. I'm actually poking out this centered piece here because I do want the green to shine through. You could actually have another piece of cardstock behind that if you wanted another shade of pink or red or anything like that. But I really do like that the green is coming through for those images. And again, just doing the same thing, placing them. Now, once these are set in place, what I will be doing is that's when I'm going to be coming in with the Festive berries. Just to give some shadow towards the bottom of the tulips. And again, I'm just going to use one of my mini blending brushes. Again, just coming up from the bottom. I'm not worried if a little bit gets on the green. We're all good. And that's what that one looks like. So yeah, die cutting for me is like puzzles. I really enjoy it. So it takes no longer to do die cutting than it would to color a piece with colored pencils or alcohol markers. So, I mean, it all depends on what you enjoy. Now, what I did here is I cut the butterfly twice. One from yellow and then another from black. And then I cut the black wings away so that I could put the black body on top of the wings. And then I'm coming in with some Festive berries because it's going to look orange on the yellow cardstock just to add some little dimension onto those wings. I am using a makeup applicator. They have really changed the makeup applicators. They are not so spongy, but rather it's almost like a soft sponge. I can't describe it. Now, these are not for like when I use my sponge daubers or the ink blending tools, the wooden handled ones. This is for smoothing, like I'm doing that there. They are great. I got mine from Amazon. And again, you don't need the box that I bought. But beautiful blending tools. Just saying. Putting our boots together. So I've got black in the background. So that's going to show for the polka dots. And I've got gray for the soles, the heels, the toes, the top, and the buckle. These dies, everything was thought of when it comes to the dies. And Scrappy Tales, Sabrina, she does that. She thinks of every element that's possible. You know, if I was designing this, I wouldn't create the buckle. Just saying. But she goes into that detail. Now, you see what I'm doing right here with this tool? This is not what they're made for. That will chew up the sponge. But the other way that I was using it, oh, no dents at all. No tearing of the sponge or anything like that. So they're really nice. I like them. I have a card panel here cut to 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm using my tumbled glass on top, and I'm going to come in on the bottom with Mowed Lawn. So sky, grass, don't have to say any more there. And we're going to place our planners. Now, what's even great with these planners that she gave you, whether it's, you know, the 2 metal ones or the boots, there is an opening on top of them. Now, I didn't make sure that I was lined up when it came to the boots, but that's okay. We can still make that look like it's working. I put this on a black panel cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm going to set that down on my standard A2 size card base, which will be a side folding card base for this card. So I'm looking at placement. I'm just looking, okay, where am I going to put these? Now, I'm also setting the flowers into each of their containers. So I've got an opening for the tulips and for my snowdrops. That's what I'm going to call them. But now that I keep looking at them, yeah, they're crocuses. I'm just saying. So you can see, okay, how can I do this? So what I did was I just trimmed it even, and then I'll just set it right on top of that opening so that it'll give the illusion that it's coming out of the boot. We can trick our eyes. Absolutely. So just playing around to say, okay, where do I want this? Where do I want this? I definitely want that handle for what looks like a tea kettle to go over the boot. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue there and then just make sure that I entwine those pieces together. And then we're going to glue them together. It's right about here where, well, once I flip it over, then I start placing this down and I'm like, oh, yeah. Notice how we can't see our flowers? The blue ones? Just saying. So real quick, notice that, okay, we quick get a pokey tool in there to lift those up. Get a piece of plastic. Just something slick. Something that they will slide off of. And I'm just downloading a lot of Villainous potion on top of them, but allowing some of the blue to come out. And now they pop off the sky. Gotta be quick when we think on these things. You know, we've got to be able, because again, we don't throw our cards away. We keep going with them. We never know what we're going to see and how it's going to end up. So never stop. Never, never stop. The sentiment I'm using is by Simon Says, and it's a simple, just thank you. It's a thank you die. That's going to sit right across that. Big, bold. And that's why I did use a black mat as well. So that it'll pull the thank you right out there. I did use also white cardstock for the background to help that to stand out. I'm going to place my butterfly just above in between all of those. And I did add some pearls to those purple flowers. And I'm just going to add a little bit of shimmer to the tips of the other two flowers and on top of the thank you, so that we will have some shimmer there. So I hope you, gotta add it to the wings too. So I do hope you enjoyed today's project featuring Scrappy Tales and her new release that was just launched very recently. Some beautiful die sets in there where you can create some wonderful scenes, so I encourage you to check it out. But as always, the links to the products that I used will be linked down below. If you want to check them out, then please be my guest. If you have any questions, make sure you leave those down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and don't forget that thumbs up. That helps YouTube push this video out so others can see the techniques and maybe get some tips and tricks to help them in their creative journey. But remember what's most important to me, always, always be creative each and every day. Take care, everyone, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Take care.